Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Naomi, and let's dream about beauty. In today's video, I have for you my Shop My Stash, saying goodbye to March and saying hello to April. I'm getting pretty tired of the things I was using in March, so I'm definitely ready to find some new items for April. If you're interested in seeing what I had in March and my thoughts and what I'm going to choose in April, then just stay watching. Okay, so one of the first palettes that I used in March was the Wahala 2. I did a blue look. Of course, how could you resist all of these beautiful blues? I like this palette. I'm not thrilled with the glitters in it, but the look I did get I was happy with. I also used, I think, this Shikara color right here, which is really pretty. So I'm happy with this column and this column and this column. And well, yeah, the only one I'm not thrilled with is probably this one. And I'm not really huge on pink, but I think it's a really beautiful palette and I'm excited to use it again. And then we had a face palette, and I used this highlighter once and I didn't use anything else. So I'm going to keep this in for another rotation and see if I can get more use out of it. Then I used the Juicy Tartlet palette once. I used this bottom row and I was happy with the look that I got. I think this is a great palette, particularly for beginners and particularly for quick looks. If you just want something that's easy and quick, it's pretty much laid out for you in a very easy way. So don't have to hunt through for complementary colors. And it's good, like I think I said, for every day. I didn't have a chance to use my new Sydney Grace shadows. That's what this is. So I'm going to keep this in for another rotation and hopefully I'll get around to using them. Another one that I didn't get around to using was the Hip Dot Cenote. I think it's just Cenote palette. That's what this one looks like. So I'm going to keep this one in for another rotation and hopefully I will get a chance to use it. Another one I didn't get a chance to use was the Bare Minerals. This is called the Good Tidings palette. And this is what it looks like. So I'm going to keep this in for another rotation and see if I can get a chance to use it. I keep saying that. See if I can get a chance to use it. Well, if my headaches would go away and if I had, you know, if I did my makeup more than once or twice a week, then I would have more chances. I did use this one. This is the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice, and this is what I used for the look I did on my eyes today. I used these two colors here, deepen it up with this color here, and then these two shimmery pinks are what is on the lid. So I was happy with the look I got from this. I think this is a great palette. I did not use this one. This is the Pat McGrath. What is this? This is the Divine Rose Luxe Quad. I keep it in the packaging because the packaging is pretty much why I bought it. And this is what it looks like. So I'm definitely going to keep this in and use this here pretty quick. I'm having a hard time not buying the, there's one that's on sale on Sephora's site, and of course they're having their VIB sale coming up, so I'm pretty excited to see if I'm going to resist the temptation to buy it or not. We'll see. Oh, that one's staying in. Okay, and then I used both the violets and also the taupes. The violets I was happy with. I think that this one is a beautiful palette with beautiful shimmers. So I was really happy with that one. I did a nice purple look. I didn't film it, but... And then I did film the one that I did with the taupes, and I wasn't too happy with this. I found that the shimmers were a little bit lackluster. So, and I don't really feel like this one here and this one here are a little bit too warm for me to feel like it's really truly a taupe look. So that's my thoughts on that one. Those are going back. I did not use this one, the Amethyst palette. So I'm going to keep this in for another go round and have a go with this one. And then I did use the Baroque palette, and I was happy with the look that I got from this. So I used this probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I'm having a hard time remembering exactly the look that I did and what I used, but I don't remember being unhappy with it. Sorry, I don't have, my thoughts aren't clearer on that one. Okay, so let's do foundations. So I had 3 foundations that I pulled. One was the L'Essentiel foundation from Guerlain. This is what it looks like. This is a beautiful foundation. I do find that it doesn't keep up with my oils quite as well as I would like. So I do get a little bit patchy, and it does separate a bit. But truly, I really have never found a foundation that was really good again with my oils. So then we have the Huda Beauty Toasted Coconut. I like this one. It's okay. I need to use it a few more times really to get an idea of what I think about it. It is probably a little bit more full coverage than what I'm accustomed to. I like a medium coverage. But it does look pretty on, and it definitely is, it has a pretty look to this skin, I find. And then the last one that I used is the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Powder Foundation, and I used this once. And I'm going to, I liked it, but I'm going to buy it in a darker shade because this is just too light for me. So I bought it in 185, and I'm going to get it in, I think I have it in my cart. It's like 240 or 225 or something. I don't remember exactly. Then I tried this EVO Beauty primer. And it says perfect primer, perfect base, matte finish. I didn't notice anything special when using this. It certainly didn't make my makeup last longer, so you know, it is what it is. I also used the L'Essentiel primer. This smells nice. It feels nice going on the skin, but I don't feel it mattifies me or makes my pores look smaller or does anything that it says it's going to do. So I would not repurchase this. It feels pretty luxurious to use though. Let me see what else do we have. Okay, let's do... So for bronzers, I pulled the Physician Formula Matte Manoi bronzer. This is a newer one to the Physician's Formula, and I quite like this. It smells nice, and I think it looks really good on the skin. So I'm happy to be using this one. I used this a couple times. This is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Coconut Bronzer. What does it say? Omega Bronze Coconut Perfect Tan in the shade Tantastic. So I quite like this. It's a nice bronzer. I have no problems with it. I like using it. And then I also use the Buxom. This is the Staycation Vibes Primer Infused Bronzer in Backyard Bronze. So this is a nice bronzer. I was happy with all 3 bronzers that I picked. And then for blush, I picked the Butter Blush in the shade Plum Rose. This is a very nice neutral blush. I picked the Peach Bloom Lip and Cheek Tint. Now I picked this thinking to myself that I would use this and figure out how to use it. I still didn't. I have a hard time figuring out how to layer foundation, powder, and liquid blush. So that's something that I need to work on. And if I had done my makeup more frequently, if I didn't have so many headaches, I probably would have gotten around to doing that. So I'm going to leave this in for another rotation and just see if I can kind of get a better sense of whether I like it and how I feel about it. I do have another cream blush that's on order, and I did really like the Tarte Sea Breezy blush that I used. That was in a trying new makeup video, and I'll link it up here. And that was a really nice blush that I used. So it's not like I don't like clean cream blushes, but the liquid blushes are a little bit, you know, harder to figure out how to layer everything. So I'm gonna leave that in. Another cream blush that I used was the Milk Makeup. This is in the shade Quickie, and I got this from the Boxy pop-up store, or else it was add-ons, I don't remember. And I bought it on the recommendation of Paulina Beauty. Then I also had the e.l.f. Putty Blush, and I didn't use this one, so I'm going to leave this in for another rotation. The two concealers that I had were both from Armani, and I have them in the shade 3 and 5, and I do quite like these. I usually blend it a bit because I find 3 is a little bit, 5 is a little bit too dark, and 3 is a little bit, I don't know. They're just mixing them, and then it seems to be a better color. For highlight, I don't think I added this from my Shop My Stash, but I just have been using it, and this is the Fenty Matchsticks in the shade Amber, and I do use this as a cream contour. So that will go back. And then for highlight, I use the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter. I really like this one. It looks really seamless with the skin, and it's super pretty, and yeah, it's really nice. And I also like the ColourPop Flexitarian. This is a nice highlighter, quite beaming. One I didn't use, again, liquid, is a liquid highlighter from Benefit called High Beam. I'm going to leave this in and try to use it. For powder, I had two powders, the Fenty Beauty Butter Powder. I had this before it came out in Boxy Charm, so I've had this for a while, and now I have the backup of the one that came in Boxy. I like this powder, it's fine. I do like the Too Faced Peach one more. So when I'm, you know, like I just touched up before I started filming because I was already starting to get a little bit shiny from when I did my makeup. I didn't touch up with this one, I touched up with the Too Faced because I do find that it lasts longer and it mattifies the skin more, and it has a really super blurring effect. But like I said, I still like this one. I do prefer this one over the Lancome. This is the Long Time No Shine. And I prefer this one over this one. This one, I don't, Long Time No Shine, no, it's High Shine, you're back already. And then this, of course, is the Fenty Beauty Lavender Powder that I use all the time. So it's not really Shop My Stash. I use it all the time for under my eyes, so it's really nice and brightening. Okay, so that took, well, I mungled. I didn't start talking as soon as I started the camera, so it says I'm in for 15 minutes, so hopefully I think it's less than that, but still, we should probably start shopping my stash, so let's go. Okay, so for primer, I am going to pick the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business Skin Primer with Kaolin Clay. This is the mattifying version. So hopefully this will control some oil for me. I am also going to pick this new one that came in my BoxyCharm. It's the Hangover RX from Too Faced. Let's see what I think of that. It says proactive and nourishing. It's probably going to be moisturizing, which is what I don't need, but still I'd like to give it a try. And then I'm going to compare it to the Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer and see what I think of this one. So that's 3 primers. Okay, so for highlighters, I've got all of the ones that are in the Build Your Own palette that I made. So I am going to add in the Glazed Donut from Ofra. And I also have the liquid one. And I think the other one I'm going to use, Which one do I want to use? Maybe I'll use this baked highlighter from Milani. It's in Dolce Perla, so I'll give this a try. Together with, oh, and the other one I wanted to put in is new. It came in my Ipsy, and it is this one from St. Lux. So I'll open these up. So this one is St. Lux, or Lux, I think it is. It's in the shade Rose Quartz. And then Dolce Perla from Milani. It's in their baked formula. And then we all know what glazed donut looks like from Ofra. So those are the three. Plus I have the palette already that I'm leaving in for another rotation. And then I have the liquid one from Benefit in. So those will be 5 highlighters. Hopefully that's enough to keep me from getting bored. Okay, and these are all highlighters here, and then face palettes down there, which I'm not going to use. So let's move on. Okay, so here I've got my top shelf items. So I already have enough highlighters. I don't need any more highlighters. But I would like to pull this. This is a pink finishing powder, and it's from Besame Cosmetics, and it came in the Sleeping Beauty collection. It's not really a blush. I mean, it does kind of look like a blush there. I haven't used it very much, so I'm definitely gonna play around with it and see what I think. The other one I would like to use is this, my new Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is in the shade, it's called the Airbrush Bronzer, a matte bronzing filter for face and body, and it's in the number 2, shade number 2 medium. That's what it looks like. The packaging is just gorgeous. So I'm going to use this. And the last thing here that I'm going to use is this blush by Pop Sugar. It's Beauty by Pop Sugar. This is what it looks like. It's in the shade Make Me Blush, or it's Make Me Blush Cheek Color in Meet Cute. I think I'm going to pull my Melt blush as well. This is the Digital Dust Duo Blush in the shade Raw Honey. So that's what that looks like. It's quite a neutral blush. I'll give that a try. And then moving one level down, those are just lip balms and stuff, so there's nothing I'm going to pull from there. And then moving down a bit more, this is where I keep my sponges. I am going to pull the Tatcha Silk Powder, and this is the only powder I'm going to pull. This is what it looks like. Very, very finely milled. And that's it from here. Okay, so from this area here, I'm going to pull the Nabla Wildberry palette. This is what it looks like. So I get real spring vibes from this, so I'm excited to give this a try. Okay, so for foundation, I am going to pull, it's just, I'm going to pull my Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue and see what I think about this. This is moisturizing makeup. I don't really know why I bought it. I think I was getting it confused with a different foundation, or maybe this was one that a lot of the people who I know who are oily, like Risa does makeup, I think she recommended this one. So anyhow, I've used it once, but I'd like to give it another try. Then I'm going to use my Too Faced Matte Born This Way in the shade Porcelain. And then there's one more I want to use, and that's the Clarins Everlasting. I also have only used this once and it's quite new, so I'm going to give this one a try. Okay, so from here I have been really wanting to use my Natasha Donona Diamond and Blush palette. I see Paulina use this all the time, so I always stumble over her name. I try to pronounce it the Swedish way instead of the English way. That's what that looks like. So it's really pretty, and I haven't hardly used it, so I'd like to give this a try. And the other thing I want to pull from here is that I haven't used is the Huda Beauty Gold palette. So I have not tried this, so I'd like to give this a try. Okay, so from here, let me see if I can just zoom out a little bit. This is the top row of my palettes. And these are new, my Odin's Eye. So there's the large size from the Norns collection. That's what that looks like. So pretty. I am really eager to give this a try. And then there's the Verdandi mini eyeshadow palette from the same collection. So I want to give this a try. There's no way I'm going to get through all of these. I already have so many palettes from last go around, plus all these ones, but hopefully it'll be a good month and I'll do my makeup lots. This is the one that made me buy this whole collection because I saw Morgan Turner do a look with this and it was just beautiful. And then last but not least, Schooled. Another very pretty palette. I also wanted to use these glittery shades that everyone swears them down are not glitters, but they sure look like glitters, so I'm really interested to give those a try. Okay, so way down there is where I keep the Birthstone Palettes. I haven't used any of them, but the one I'd like to give a try is the one I got halfway through the month. It's the Aquamarine. This is what it looks like. So I'm very eager to give this a try. I just wish that they hadn't put this pressed glitter in. But you know, it's fine. So that's that. And I think I've run out of room for any more palettes. This is all I'm going to pull for this month. I'm going to try and fit in a look with the Bambi palettes that I got from ColourPop. I haven't used those yet. And I still want to do a few more with the Kaleidos palette from Kaleidos X Angelica Nyquist.